Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back to I messed up all my makeup and show you things that I do to distract from that kind of video. I'm talking about where I was 20 years ago, how much this still affects us, but I'm not going to get all cryy and weepy and make you sad, okay? So yeah, there's that. We're going to take the Bobbi Brown and the Lancome stick foundations, make a big old mess out of them, and then talk about where I ended up and why. So if you want to see this eye look, what I used, how I got here, what I did to fix the mess and stuff, just keep on watching. I don't use Pat McGrath on camera much, do I? Let's do that. Let's use this one. I don't know what it is. There's two of my palettes that the outside boxes tore up. I mean, they really are kind of flimsy. If you actually use the palettes, you get in and out of it all the time, they tear up kind of fast. So two of mine, and I don't know which one this is. I think it might be the Divine Rose. And I actually think that the other one, yeah, the other one that the box tore up on is also the Rose. It's the second one. One of the whole purposes of doing this is to actually use the makeup that's just sitting around here, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I think I actually want to do something kind of simple, like maybe this in the crease and this on the lid. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just go. But you know what would be really good is if we actually primed. Let's get a tiny bit of this Milani eye primer. So where were you on 9/11 20 years ago? I was running a chat room, and I was in the room and a lot of people came in and they kept having an extra, I mean, I didn't know what was going on. Kept having this really large concern about what President Bush was going to do. So my response to everybody is, I'm sure that whatever it is, the president will take care of it. It'll be okay, whatever it is. Everything will be just fine. Let's get down to business. You know. Finally, it becomes apparent to the room that I don't know what's happening. And everybody keeps saying, turn on the news, turn on the news. You know, it just so happened that the television was sitting right behind me on a dresser. And so I just turned it on and I'm like mesmerized by what I'm seeing. And I didn't have the television on very long when I saw the second plane hit. And I had no idea. I'm just sitting there on the edge of the bed, stunned. As I was watching that, my brain couldn't process what was happening. I didn't understand. I'm like hearing it and looking at it, but my brain's not processing what is actually happening. And all I can think about is the Space Shuttle Challenger. It blew up on television. What I was doing then was I was on the phone talking to my mother and feeding my baby, and the TV was muted. But what I was seeing, I thought, until it just kept repeating and repeating, was a movie. I thought I was watching a movie. And I also didn't understand what was happening when the Challenger hit, so I guess that's why I thought that. But I remember thinking that. And I should probably also tell you that the chat room that I was running was a Christian chat room. And naturally there's people in the room and they're like wanting me to answer, and I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I want to give a little further insight here. We started the day, the mornings. We started the mornings, or at that particular time of the morning, with prayer. And the room was abnormally full for that time of the day. And there seemed to be a lot of anxiety going on, and an abnormal amount of people I knew that were not from the U.S. were in the room wanting me to answer what I thought President Bush was going to do. What's President Bush going to do? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think President Bush is going to do? And mingled in that was people who were anxious and upset about something. And I didn't know what it was. What's going on? You know, whether or not this is, you know, the end of the end of the world, the apocalypse is starting. What's happening? I know that the whole purpose of that caddy is for me to use only that makeup. Let's concentrate on that makeup. But because I want to use this shade right here, and I know what's going to happen if I do, I went over to the chest and got my NYX pigment primer because I need it to hang on to this stuff. Possibly I should have got glitter glue. Okay, maybe we're not going to use that. It dried up in there. I'm going to go get some glitter glue. Yeah, that was a day that I don't think that anybody can ever forget. But what I can't process is that this was actually 20 years ago. How could that have been 20 years ago? So Netflix has this series. It's a documentary, 5-parter, I think, series. I'm not through with it. I can only watch a little bit of it at a time because it's very emotional for me, as it is everyone, actually. Not even in the US. The Americans really felt it deep, that the whole world was mourning with us over what had taken place, what had happened. It was like, okay. And you guys might remember I told you not that long ago how the chat rooms are how I actually figured out that not everyone loved Americans. So I already knew that, but I think that when 9/11 hit, there were a lot of Americans who suddenly took notice, like, wow, didn't realize how much hatred there was toward America. But in any case, this isn't a political conversation, so we're not gonna go there. I'm just saying what a shock it was, and I can't be the only one that thinks that this couldn't have possibly been 20 years ago and that it still feels rather fresh. The depth of some people's hatred I just can't fathom. But in any case, I didn't even lose anybody. At that time, I worked at the hospital, and I wasn't a nurse. I was an x-ray tech, for people who don't know that. They weren't calling for x-ray techs, but I know in the medical world that doctors and nurses need x-ray techs. So there came a call across the country. I don't remember everything in detail, but I know that they were calling for medical people to go and help with the aftermath of 9/11. I think it baffled Shy Guy how quickly I forgot my family. And I was going to go. I'm going to volunteer. Yeah, when I get to work, I'm going to volunteer for that. I mean, I can't abandon the kids and him and take off like that. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to go. And my husband goes, no, you're not. I don't know where you think you're going, but you're needed here. I mean, our youngest was 4. I mean, I can't just leave. But yeah, that's kind of just what you think, what you're gonna do, But anyway, I'm not trying to turn this Get Ready With Me into a big downer, because I know that a lot of you don't come here for seriousness, But I know I'm not the only one who is thinking about what tomorrow is. And not just here. I know that a lot of people that aren't even in the US are also thinking about this. So I guess I just want to say that statement that was flying around back then is still flying around today. We will never forget. Let's finish up this Pat McGrath mascara. I mean, do you guys do this? I do this. Every time I go out and I see a soldier, I always go up to them and thank them for their service, because they're the reason I can lay my head down at night, We should never forget that also policemen and firefighters and EMTs and your hospital workers, they are also all the first responders, and they're all heroes. All right, so I promised this, didn't I? So this is the Lancome Teint Idole, their new and improved stick, which, I'm not a big fan of that thing on the end. As you can see, I tried to use it, but I'm like, no. I'm going to use this on this side of my face and the Lancome on this side of my face. And I've not used them, of course, at the same time. So we'll judge how they feel and spread and wear and all that at the same time. Let's just draw right on one side of my face with this stick. And I'm just going to run this over here. Right away, I can tell you, because I've been wearing the Lancome stick a little bit, that this is not as creamy. Okay, it's pretty darn creamy, but it's not as creamy as the Lancome side. Let's just go ahead and, that's pretty creamy. Okay, let's just go right ahead and blend this in with our fingers. I used the amount I would have used with a brush and then switched off to fingers. So yeah, I've got a little bit much here on both sides. I can also tell you it doesn't, like, the Lancome one spreads with your fingers just a little bit easier. So the Bobbi Brown stick is a thicker cream stick than the Lancome is. The Lancome is lighter. Feels better when you spread it out. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a better stick or that it looks better or anything. Trying to think what skincare I used because the Bobbi Brown is pilling a little bit. So it doesn't like what I have on my face is Clarins double serum. And that was like over an hour ago because I watched a Doc Martin while I was doing my skincare. I didn't use a primer, so I don't know why. I haven't had that. I haven't had it do that yet. But I've also, I don't think, done this. I think I've used a brush. I don't recall using my fingers to blend the Bobbi Brown. Okay, just kind of patting it. Moving the product around. Okay, it did pill, but not very much. There we go. My shade in the Bobbi Brown is C024 Ivory, and the Lancome is in 110 Ivory. As usual, I could have pretty much told you that, but you don't get a lot. I've used this a couple of times now. This is all you get. All right, so here we go. Let's go. This is a creamier. It glides better. Ooh. And now I will do this one. So let's spread this one around now. Okay, Lancome doesn't seem to like the double serum either. So that's weird. I mean, I waited a whole episode. You know, what's that, 40 minutes or something? So, kind of weird. Look at that. Neither side likes Clarins double serum, apparently, because I don't have any moisturizer on. It's just the double serum. It could also be that, because I've never had this problem with either one of these two, so it could also be that I just flat out needed to exfoliate, and I'm not used to having to worry about that. So yeah, I'm not, my skincare is different, and I'm still adjusting to it. I almost feel like we need to redo this. This foundation's not looking good on either side. The powder I have on my carousel is the Hourglass, I forgot what this is called, Veil or something. Trying to use it up, I mean, because as you can see, if I concentrated on this, I could go through it pretty quick. But I don't know, it seems like the last couple of times I used it, I didn't think it looked very good. So I'm kind of worried of what's going to happen because I don't think that either foundation stick looks that great or not as good as it has, you know. But anyway, I'm going to take my favorite powder brush and come into it because I just want a little application. I don't want to go in with a sponge and pack it in. Let's start out here, okay? I'm just going to use, actually, this is good because this is just a faint little dusting of it because I forgot that the palette I want to use today for the rest of my face is actually a cream. So I don't want a big bunch of powder on there, just enough to kind of set that down a little bit. Hopefully it won't move as much. I'm going to use this Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek Palette, which is a shock to me. I mean, because look, that's a blush. You wouldn't think, right? But, and maybe on camera today, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to take something light. Let's just use this fan brush right here and come and get this bronzer. Because you don't need a lot of it. I mean, doesn't that look really, I mean, look at that. That looks really orange, doesn't it? You would think that this wouldn't work at all. Then I'm going to take this little kabuki. I'm going to come into that blush. And I'm I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this cream highlight and pop it up here. But I'm going to buff all this together because you know I don't like those lines. I am taking a break here for a little R&R. Not really going anywhere, but taking a social media break. Turning off the computer. Unwind, think of new things, new ideas for things or whatever, you know. So it's a vacation, but it's kind of like not a vacation because I'm not actually going anywhere. I'm going to help my hubby hopefully put in the new bathroom, do some things around the house before it gets too cold, you know, prepping for the holidays. Okay, with my glasses on, I can see that nothing looks good. But, you know, you do have those days, right, where nothing turns out. Nothing looks like you think it's gonna. And I guess that's good that I'm not really needing it to look good today. I'm gonna get the scarf in my hair and put on a real shirt. I mean, this is just my sleep shirt, you know. And then I'll be right back. So let's talk about what I can do to make this mess better. I've already done a couple of things, but I stopped because I thought, wait, they might want to see that. What I did was I took a little bit of the La Mercier Light Catcher powder and I buffed it in at my cheeks. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of luminosity. Take my Charlotte Tilbury with my Lancome powder puff powder and just press it in a little bit to help, hopefully, the foundation a little bit. Make it look less textured. So what I'm trying to do is detract. I'm making other things like stand out more so that your eye pulls focus somewhere other than my imperfect foundation. So I put a headscarf in, it's colorful, it's pulling focus away from my face, and the next thing I'm going to do is, instead of wearing these glasses today, I'm going to wear my Wayfarers, because the Wayfarers are big, dark, and they pull focus, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm pulling focus away from things I don't want you to stare that long at and giving you something else to look at. Put in a pair of earrings, then my scarf, my Wayfarers, and nobody is as close to my face as you guys are. I'm not gonna mess with this. I feel like I've made enough adjustments and I don't have to take the time to redo everything. All right, I'll see you after my break. If you miss me, watch some old videos. And why would you do that? Because you're the best part of the Fritzy family. If you guys aren't having a blessed day, just go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya. Bye. And I'm out.
It's going to be a little bit hard to move and blend the way I want. I'm inhaling brulee. I wasn't a big news person to begin with. News. Sounds like I'm mooing. Moo. Instead you just go, news. I wasn't a big news person. So even though I'm supposed to be using everything that's in the caddy, because I'm alright, don't nobody worry about me. You got to give me a fight. Why don't you just let it be? Yeah, yeah. I think I better go get my NYX primer. I think I better go get my NYX primer. My NYX primer. Primer patter? But what am I saying? Get it out of there. Why won't you come out? Come out, come out. Oh no, you can't be. You can't. Are you dried up in there? No, really? What is happening right now? Oh no, it's so old. Oh no, Mr. Bill. That wasn't me farting. I lifted myself up and did that, and the fat on my legs came together and went. Bleh. I went over there and took the window slat and like went like this, and there was a hummingbird. It was like right here looking at me, just looking me in the eye. It was like, I need more nectar. Give me more nectar. Give me more nectar. Oh, glitter, glitter, glitter. Glitter's flying all around, glitter. And it is something that blends out divinely with your... Divinely? Really? Is this in any way, shape, or form divine? Now, what we're going to do is put one on one side and one on the other and feel your way. Oh no, we're going to do that whole grease. Grease is the word, is the word, is the word. Blue moon, I saw you standing alone without a dream in you. I think I woke up my son. Sorry. I know you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you miss me blind. Gosh darn it, I can't find the hole. Where's the hole? That's what he said.